Hi everybody, it's Carol at Angels Sewing. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are tuned into this video, you are probably signed up for the Roxy Accordion wallet, which is happening on July 9th. I'm very excited to bring you this video. It's just a short little video to help you get prepared for your class is all. So let's get right to it. This bag I just love. I think it is the cutest thing. Check out all of the compartments in there. You have lots and lots of slots. Let me get you a closer look here. You have a lot of different card slots. You have two nice large slip pockets, and you have a nice zippered little pocket in there as well. You can either dress up with this or you can even dress down with this, whichever that you want. It was a nice, easy sew. I have to say, it was the first time that I had done a serial bag maker pattern, and all I can say is it was so nicely written. Nicely written, great directions, very literal. I take things sometimes a little literal, actually a lot. And it was just a nice pattern to read and sew. It was very, very nice. So our purpose for this is to try to save you some time, just give you a few tips and tricks along the way with this pattern. And one thing when you first start, this is a big one too, because Daryl and I at night, we'll have dinner and then we'll, start talking. Well, I'm always thinking in my head, all right, what can I be multitasking with right now? So I go grab a pattern that I am always needing to make a pattern, make a sample for all of you guys. I'll just start cutting out pattern, which I did this the other day. Well, do not cut the patterns out. You do not need to cut the patterns out on this pattern. She gives great pattern pieces too. The only two that you need to cut out, and I'm going to tell you why, would be these two right here. All right, they are the accordion pleats. Two different sizes right here. This is the only one, and the reason being because all of these are just rectangles and squares. That's all they are. You see this shaded area here? That's if because I use the 7.5-inch purse frame, because she does the directions for 3 different sizes, which I will be getting. I have 7.5 here in the store now, but I will be getting the other 2 sizes too. So that's something that you'll need to decide before you start cutting your pattern pieces as well. So you may want to wait until you get your purse frames so you can, you'll know exactly which directions to follow. So I wasted all my time cutting all these beautiful pattern pieces out because they're just measurements. Very, very easy. So that should save you guys time right there. So there's that. Let me see. Recommended fabric. I recommend quilting cotton. Quilting cotton. This can be a little bit thick, but it really wasn't with the quilting cotton. My suggestion, if you really want to use maybe a Pro Lite cork, and when I say Pro Lite cork, that's the thinner cork, not like the regular, which is a little bit thicker. I would recommend Pro Lite cork only for this exterior piece right here. This is like a 1 piece, so I would say only for that. So there we go. Another thing I just want to point out with this, as you can see, I use Tula Pink's Curiouser and Curiouser, and like I said, this is 1 piece. So if I would have used the 1 piece as it calls, when you flip this over, my teacups would have been upside down. So I just have this really faint little seam right there, and so that my teacups would be correct on both sides. So that's just another little tip. This is also a great bag if you have some kind of fabric that you want to showcase a nice fussy cut something on both sides even. Or if you have a machine that embroiders, you can also embroider something on either side or both. Perfect design for that. So there is that. Stabilizer. My go-to stabilizer is Shapeflex 101, SF 101. I love it. It is it really is my go-to. And as you get experienced, and especially when you're doing bag designers in other countries, because they have different stabilizers that sometimes we can't get here, and sometimes it's vice versa for them. You know, don't stress about the stabilizers. You will get it. It will come. And I totally understand at the very beginning when you don't understand it, you do what they pretty much say. And that is what I did when I started out. Now I know what stabilizer does what and what look you want to get. You'll get a bag designer that will want to use want the bag to look a certain way, like by using biannies or bozal, you know, all those things. But then you have the right to, in your head, say, wait a second, I don't think I'm going to like that look. I want this look, and use a different one. So, you know, don't stress about stabilizers. This one calls for some SF101, which I used. It also calls for Peltex for this particular piece right here. Also, and I have Peltex, which is fusible on one side. It does tell you in the directions, do not fuse, like when you cut, do not fuse the Peltex to that exterior piece. And I was thinking, well, why not? Isn't that for that piece? Why wouldn't I do that? There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And it's kind of funny because normally, or sometimes, I might have done that, but I didn't, and just don't do it. Read the directions and do what she says. There we go. Let me see. Oh, and in here she calls for Decoville Light. I did not have any Decoville Light. Honestly, I didn't even really know what Decoville Light was until I came to the store, chatted with Mary Lou. I used SF101. It's fine. I'm not quite sure exactly what the difference is. Decoville Light might slightly be a teeny tiny bit heavier, but that's it. So there we go. Maybe another tip, if you are going to be a big bag maker, I buy my SF101 by the bolt. So I have it at home. I have it on the bolt. I always have SF101. And don't get me wrong, I always have also like the biannies, you know, soft and stable. I guess that's and some Peltex, fusible Peltex, and fusible fleece, depending on what kind of project that you're working on. So, all right, tools and notions for this. Your basic tools and notions, you know, your rotary cutter, your mat, thread, snips, scissors. I mean, I have a million pairs of different scissors, and I'll tell you, because my husband comes in my sewing room and he's like, do you use all these? I'm like, yeah, I do, and I really do. You know what I'm talking about. Marking pens. For this one, you do need some marking pens. Just be careful with the Frixion. I love my Frixion, but just be careful when you iron, it goes away. One time I was doing some kind of pleats or something. I had everything marked out. As I was doing each pleat, I was giving it a nice press. And then what happens? You open up, all your markings are gone. So just be careful with that. So I've been starting to use a little bit more my chalk marker, which works great too. But really nothing out of the ordinary for tools and notions. The only thing that if you don't have, because to attach this purse frame, you will need some glue. This is a certain glue that fuses together fabric and metal. This is my go-to one. This is the one that I have at home, but this one is just as good too. So if you have either one of these at home, you can use either one. I do sell both of these in the store too as well if you need that. So there's that. Time to cut, because there's quite a few pieces here. It took me about an hour and a half, I would say. And when I say cut, and that's cutting with fusing my stabilizer on as well. So I'd say an hour and a half to 2 hours maybe. Time to make, about 3.5 or so. So there we go. Extra notes. What did I say? Oh, extra notes. This is a good one. When you are cutting out your patterns, I always have, I'm the sticky note queen here, ask anybody. So you know the square stickies, I will cut that in 4. So it's 4 teeny tiny little, well not teeny tiny, but 4 squares. And every time I cut a piece, I grab my fabric clip and I clip my fabric. I write what the pattern is, what that piece is. Usually they're lettered and then they're named. I don't just do letter and I don't just do name. I do both. So C main panel, that is what goes on that square, and it goes directly to my piece and I clip it. Easy, you always know what it is. Also, like I just said before, you can embellish this. You can embellish it with embroidery. You can embellish it with any other kind. If you have rhinestones, if you have that rhinestone thing that you can add rhinestones on, whatever you want. This is a great fussy cut one. To fussy cut something on here is a great, great also. So I'm glad that you signed up for the class. I can't wait to see all of your Roxy accordion wallets. And I hope you have a great day. And I will see you in class. Thank you.